राधा कुंजबी हारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंजबी हारी गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरवरधारी जय गिरवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा शीला प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा शीला गुरुदेवा ओम तत्सत् ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So Hare Krishna to all Vaishnavas. So today we'll be reciting and discussing the shloka 11 from Canto 3 entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 27, Understanding Material Nature. Please recite shloka 11 along with me. Mukta lingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asacchakshuha sarvanushtyutam advayam Muktalingam sada bhasham asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asatchakshuha sarvanushyutam madvayam Muktalingam sada bhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asatchakshuha sarvanushyutam madvayam. Word meanings. Muktalingam, transcendental. Sat abhasam, manifest as a reflection. Asati, in the false ego. Pratipadyate, he realizes. Sataha bandhum, the support of the material cause. Asat chakshuha, the eye, revealer of the illusory energy. Sarva anusyutam, entering into everything. Advayam, without a second. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A liberated soul realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and who is manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. He is the support of the material cause and he enters into everything. He is absolute, one without a second, and he is the eyes of the illusory energy. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamin Iti Namine Namaha Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaurakatha Damadaya Nagaragrama Tarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Jayatam Saruto Pangor Mama Mandamatirgati Matsarva Supadam Bhoja Radha Madana Mohanam Devya Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtha Libihi Sevyamana Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vadatata Stitaha Karshan Venur Swanar Gopi Gopinatha Shri Sunaha Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishwe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Hemabhadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhete Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Shri Guru Deenataranam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Om Tat Sat. So please read the purport along with me. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there only as a reflection, but a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of the material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, who is its support. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Hare Krishna, that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Brahma and, Hare Krishna, is Lord Krishna. And as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Krishna is the cause of all causes. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, is present not only within this universe and each and every universe, but in every atom. Although he is one without a second, the word Advayam, without a second, which is used in this verse, indicates that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is not divided. His presence is everything, in everything is explained in the next verse. Hare Krishna, just give me a minute, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sorry, Vaishnavas, I nearly choked. So today we're continuing with the subject of Gyanis at the level of Gyanis. So how Lord Kapila is teaching. Yeah, 1 second. So Lord Kapila is basically describing the state of Gyanis. Now we've read in the 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita that out of the 4 Sukritinas, the Gyanis are comparatively at the top stage. So he's describing to his mother, Devahuti, the 18 qualities of a Gyani. That's covered in Shloka 7 to 10. Now he's describing the characteristics of soul. So 5 characteristics of soul. One is asati sad abhasam, manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. Sato bandhum, second, he's the cause of prakriti. Third, asat chakshuha, he's the revealer of material elements. Fourth, sarvanusyutam, pervading into everything. And fifth, advayam, one without a second. So beautiful characteristics of the super soul. So a Gyani, these normally examples are given like our Sukadeva Goswami or the Chatushkumaras. So they were Gyanis. What kind of Gyanis? Gyanis here refer to, so here devotees, their characteristics is being explained. So this is Bhakti Mishra Gyana. where jnana is the primary element. Okay. And then the secondary element is becoming like Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti. So they are known as Brahmavads. This is different from Mayavads. So when we're talking about Advayam, the fifth characteristics, one without a second of a super soul. So we all know this famous shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Vadanti tat tattvavidas, tattvam yaj jnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. So the Brahmavads are at the first level of realization. So comparison is being made right now of a jnani, then there will be verses, then you have Ashtanga yogis, then you have verses bhaktas against karma yogis. Okay, like in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we read about Aru Ruksha, Yoga Ruksha, Yoga Rudha, the one at the preliminary stage of realization through Ashtanga Yoga, and then Yoga Rudha, who's at the advanced stage using Ashtanga Yoga. So our Chatush Kumaras and the Sukadeva Goswami, they were very advanced. They realize and they recognize that there is a Lord. Versus Mayavads. What is the issue of Mayavad is, let me explain to you. For them, like we were talking about the first characteristic of the soul, Asati Sad Abhasam, manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. Reflection even in the false ego. So basically it's talking about Lord's Sarvagata, all pervading. That is the feature, all pervading. The issue with Mayavad is, they say this material world is the reflection of Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. Okay. And this reflection, this material was a reflection where? In Maya. And in Maya, there are jivas and there is this Ishvara, Lord. So Ishvara, Lord, is the superior jiva in Maya. Basically what they're saying, Lord in Maya. So the jiva are inferior. There is superhuman known as Ishvara who is in Maya. So the point with the Mayavad is they negate the existence of Ishvara. So basically super soul. Now the basis of all their study and culmination are the Vedic scriptures. But their conclusion is completely misled. Right? One is Shankaracharya did his job in the Kali Yuga. The second is themselves. You have Buddhism, where people, so you have the Buddhism and then you have the Mayavads together. So they have completely formed, negated basically the super soul concept, Ishvara concept, the controller concept. For them it is, if the so-called reflection of Brahma Jyoti, which is the material world, if it completely vanishes, then all the jiva and even Ishvara, the so-called Lord in Maya, it will merge into Brahman. So basically all jivas are Ishvara controllers. Now basically Bhagavad Gita teaches us what? Last time we were discussing about soul and super soul, Vibhu and Anu. And there was even the three doers, right? We checked out three doers. It is introduced in chapter 5, your Jivatma, your Paramatma, and Prakriti. And then also in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kshetragna, super soul and super soul, and then Prakriti. So there are 6 questions, right? In the 13th chapter. So the issue is, they are not able to differentiate between Parabrahma, Mahad Brahma, Parabrahma, super soul, Mahad Brahma, Prakriti, and the soul, which is Brahma, Anu. So let's talk about reflection even in false ego, manifest. So Lord is known as Sarvagata, all pervading. So he has a lot of sarva. He's known as Sarvatmanaha. He's present in every living entity. So what is that called? Omnipresent. You've heard this, it's a very Srila Prabhupada word. You've heard of omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, all pervading. This is so Srila Prabhupada. He's introduced this amazing dictionary words applying to Lord Krishna, applying to the super soul. So one of the sixth question in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is known as Geyam. Who is the object of knowledge? Jnanam Geyam, right? So Geyam 13.13, Lord Krishna says that Geyam Yattad, okay, Pravakshyami. You will know about Parabrahman, who is the super soul, and that Parabrahman depends on me, takes shelter of me. So here Lord is basically talking about his expansions. Very clear in Bhagavad Gita. There is no two ways of understanding this. It's not confusing at all. So here the super soul depends on Lord Krishna. And why super soul is very great, or to be, at least for the Jnani stage, to be the object of meditation or worship, right? Object of knowledge, because he is the maker of this material world. So you have three Purusha avatars. All of them are super souls for the entire universe, super soul of one of the universe, and then Paramatma, Shiro Dakashai Vishnu, the super soul in each and every living entity. He's all pervading. Sarvatmanaha and Sarvagata. So that is Asati Sad Abhasam. Now the second, Sato Bandhum, the cause of Prakriti. Now we were talking about Mahad Brahma. So what is the difference between Parabrahma and Mahad Brahma or Mahad Yonir? Right? There is the shloka in in the 14th chapter, talking about Mahad Yonir. So that's Mahad Brahma. So that is Prakriti. So Parabrahma pervades in all the worlds or spheres, both in spiritual and material. Whereas Mahad Brahma, Prakriti, she only pervades in the material world. But then there is a caveat. In the material world, if there are souls like you and me performing sadhana or pure devotees, she doesn't pervade there. She in fact helps us into doing more bhakti. So a very clear difference. Then, so that's Parabrahma, Mahad Brahma. Now Brahma, say Anu, us souls. Difference is very, very simple. Vibhu is Lord Krishna. Anu is us souls, Jivatmas, millions of Jivatmas. Now, what do you mean by Vibhu and Anu? It is called omnipotent. Lord is the omnipotent. Potent means the one who is the source of energy. And like our Siksha Guru was talking about yesterday, Vibhin Atma, yesterday during Rudragi. So we are the Vibhin Amshas of the Lord, these small energies of the Lord. But we cannot operate without the source. If the omnipotent, the Vibhu doesn't give us the energy, we cannot even shake. So they say consciousness, activity is the symptom of the soul. If that is the case, how do we lie dormant in Karano Dakshai Vishnu? Because it's Lord's supreme will. If he wants us to sleep, we will sleep. We will become inactive. If he wants to activate us, the Vibhu wants to activate Anu, omnipotent. He surge, insert, like it's called the resurge, insert, whatever you want to call it. He puts, right, this mega volt of energy into us that we start becoming active. So the very fine difference. Okay? That's two qualities we've talked about. Third quality, Asat Chakshuha, the revealer of the material elements. Which form is the Lord, the revealer of the material element? Sankhya Yoga. So there is this beautiful chapter in Bhagavad Gita called Transcendental Knowledge, the 4th chapter. It is basically talking about, like, this chapter is talking about how a Jnani can attain liberation. And that chapter talks about how one can attain jnana by different types of sacrifices, yagyas, right? So there is this, wait, so you have 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. You have 5 shlokas covering about how to attain jnana through various sacrifices, right? Material elements. It starts with demigod worship, 1, 2. Then you have Brahman worship, okay? Then 3, you have mind control. 4th, sense control or sense enjoyment for the grahasthas, mind control by brahmacharis. Then for 5th, you have self-control, the one who are following the yoga system, Patanjali yoga system. 5th, then you have charity, dravya yajna. Then you have austerity, tapo yajna. Then you have yoga yajna, mysticism, right? Trying to acquire the spiritual world state of the 8 mysticism, anima, laghima, prapti, prakamya, vishita, all that. So none of these 8 mysticism is perfected in this world. Maybe 1 or 2, but altogether no one has ever perfected it. Even Lord Krishna has revealed it in the 11th canto. And then you have, which is our favorite and which applies to us, thanks to our Guru Parampara, Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna. So one yajna we are doing, which we know is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which requires faith. But our faith becomes from Komal to Tivra to strong through Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna, by study of the scriptures, revealed scriptures. So see how our acharyas, they have put us in different legs without us realizing we are doing sacrifice, right? Because Lord Krishna himself said, how you can attain jnana is through sacrifice. Now, sacrifice is not necessarily yajna only through what you say, the fire sacrifice. Sacrifice means trying to obtain a certain goal through a particular activity. Okay, and the 10th type of sacrifice explained in the 4th chapter is pranayama. So pranayama is one of the 8 legs of Ashtanga yoga, limbs, right? This is like through your breathing exercise, like asana is bodily exercise. Pranayama is breathing exercise, like Puraka, Kumbhaka, Richaka, and also controlling 2 of the pranavayus, primary pranavayus. Your prana, apana, those 2 vayus, through the process. So this is the 3rd one, revealer of material elements. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. Mama vartmanu vartante. Lord says that whatever your mood of surrender is or object of worship is, directly or indirectly, it will come to me finally. So, but as long as one follows the revealed scriptures, the Vedic injunctions, not the people. This is another beautiful shloka. I think it's in the 4th chapter only, right? We have Shraddhavan Labhati Jnanam. The next shloka. It's called Agnas Ashraddhadhanascha. There are 3 aspects. Samshayatma, 3 aspects. One is Agnya, the other one is Ashraddha, the 3rd one is Samshayatma. Agnya means who is ignorant. Ignorant means he doesn't have knowledge of the revealed scriptures. Okay, and then faith is like, forget the faith. Well, knowledge is not there. Sometimes people, that is the next step. Anyway, knowledge and faith is not there. Ashraddhadhana, who's faithless. He has the knowledge somewhat of the scriptures, but he doesn't have the faith because he has heard various Bahu Shakha Hinantascha, 2nd chapter. He has heard various proponents of how to achieve beneficial elevation. So the Lord is nowhere in the picture. So we're talking about material elements, revealer of the material elements. And then the 3rd one is Samshaya Atma. the one who keeps doubting. He has knowledge, he has faith, but he's always doubting the process. So Lord says these three kind of people will never attain happiness, never attain elevation. Whereas the previous shloka was saying, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The one who has sense control, faith in the scriptures, will find shelter in Lord and happiness. So that is your third characteristics of super soul, the revealer of material elements at different stages, catering to all souls. Now, even Agna means basically not having knowledge or faith. It is tending or equivalent to an animalistic state life, unfortunately. So the fourth characteristic is Sarvanushyutam, pervading into everything. So this is your Sarvagatam. Like we were saying, Prakriti is Sarvagata in this material world only, sphere, but not where there is bhakti going on or sadhana going on. Anything related to Lord, she doesn't enter. She actually helps, right? So Sarvagata, but Lord is Sarvagata everywhere. He's impartial. He's equal to everyone, right? He is the supreme director. Upadrishta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. Maha Ishwara, the Maha controller. And the fourth one is Advayam, one without second. Now, there was this very nice question. We were doing this Vadanti Tattva with us to one of my Bhagavad Gita students. So it is there. There are three very basic shlokas mentioned in the second shloka of second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So it's starting with Vadanti Tattva Vidas, and then you have Ishwara Paramaha Krishna in the purport. It's a big purport. And then Ete Chamsa Kalapamsa. So then she was asking that if there is someone even higher than Super Soul, then why you're saying he's Advayam? He's one without the second. So it was very hard to explain. So I had to explain like the Bhagwan and then the Vishnu Tattva, because obviously not too much knowledge, not like a Siksha Guru who gives one-liners. I had to explain the whole setup, that Bhagwan is the Supreme Lord, and then to do different functions in the material world, then he expands himself into various Vishnu Tattva. So Advaya, but he is one without a second, because they only perform functions which Lord Krishna desires. Simple. Which your Yogamaya understands Lord Krishna, and she allows the ambience to happen. So nothing is moving without the will, desire of the Lord. Same goes for this material world. Without the will of, say, Mahashankarshana, then without the will of then Karanodakshai Vishnu, who gets up from sleep, right? This Advayam, this concept, okay, will not pervade one without a second. This is their will, but they are acting according to the supreme director, which is Lord Krishna. So 5 beautiful characteristics of Super Soul. So one second. There is this very nice, in Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, is present not only within this universe, that is, Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti, 5.40. Koteshvasesha Vasudadhi Vibhuti Bhinnam Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So I'll end my class here. Very simple subject matter, but very hard to realize. So if anyone has any queries on this shloka, so I read the translation. Anyone has any questions, you can put it in the forum now. You have a Siksha Guru. Haribol.
Actually, yesterday we saw that when our this Ramadan special is going on, so many people have left. We understand, because nobody can stay more than 1 hour in the class, and we don't blame them, because they may have some other engagement which